Why should women be portrayed as slaves to men? Why should a woman play games to win over a man? In a bold move reflecting the growing anti-French sentiment in parts of West Africa, Burkina Faso and Niger have banned the popular French reality TV show, The Bachelor. The decision comes amid escalating tensions between these countries and France, following a series of political shifts and the rejection of French influence in the region. What led to this decision, and how does banning a reality TV show tie into the broader political and cultural shifts taking place in Burkina Faso and Niger? Is this a symbolic move in the effort to reclaim cultural identity, or does it represent deeper fractures in Franco-African relations? Well, we are going to find out. But before we do so, make sure you like this video and subscribe to the New Tourist channel so you never miss out on all that is happening in these countries. We cannot begin this without telling you what this show is about. The Bachelor is a popular reality TV dating show where a single man, known as The Bachelor, dates multiple women over the course of several weeks. The goal is for The Bachelor to find a romantic partner among the contestants. Throughout the show, The Bachelor goes on group dates, one-on-one outings, and engages in various activities to get to know the women better. The contestants must seduce the man in the hopes of being picked as his wife. Each episode concludes with a rose ceremony in which the Bachelor selects which contestants to keep and discards the others. In the last episodes, the Bachelor usually selects one woman, and occasionally a marriage proposal follows. The West African countries of Burkina Faso and Niger have banned this French TV show for stigmatizing African women, as well as being contrary to the values and customs of the two nations. A statement by the Superior Council of Communication of Niger's military administration said French broadcaster Canal has been ordered to no longer broadcast or rebroadcast Season 3 of the series The Bachelor. Authorities in neighboring Burkina Faso had already taken action against the broadcaster. The leaders of Burkina Faso and Niger believe that the show is non-protective of the country's young population and stigmatizes African women. Canal Plus Niger said on Wednesday that the Bachelor program is suspended in Niger from this Tuesday, October 1, 2024, following the request of the Minister of Communication. Bear in mind that in June, Burkina Faso's information agency reported that the country's authorities had taken a precautionary measure by suspending 2 new Canal Plus channels, which could have had a significant cultural and social impact. In recent years, Mali, Niger, and Burkina Faso have resorted to punitive actions against several Western and French media outlets. The military government of Burkina Faso imposed a 6-month suspension on TV5 Monde in June, citing the French channel's dissemination of misinformation as a breach of legal regulations. The West African state previously suspended it in April after it broadcast a Human Rights Watch report accusing the National Army of terminating civilians. The country temporarily banned radio broadcasts of BBC Africa and US-funded Voice of America due to their coverage of a report that accused the National Army of carrying out mass executions. The French newspaper Le Monde, the British newspaper The Guardian, and the German broadcaster Deutsche Welle have all had their websites blocked until further notice. Well, what is your take on this recent suspension of The Bachelor show? Do you believe it stigmatizes women? Let us know what you have to say in the comments below. All this is happening when France's relations with Burkina Faso, Mali, and Niger have deteriorated significantly since the military takeovers in the West African states. All 3 former French colonies have severed defense ties with Paris, citing internal interference and French forces' failure to combat a decade-long jihadist insurgency in the Sahel region. The 3 military leaders are finding all means to protect their nations, thereby forming the alliance of Sahel states and allying with Russia. In a recent turn of events, Mali, Niger, and Burkina Faso announced another deal with Russia, which will see them acquire telecoms and surveillance satellites. Ministers from Mali, Burkina Faso, and Niger met officials from Russia's aerospace agency, Roscosmos, in Mali's capital, Bamako, on Monday to discuss the acquisition of these surveillance satellites. According to Alaus Nisanu, Mali's finance minister, the technology will improve national security and border surveillance in all 3 nations. It will also make secure communications possible. Sanu also said the satellites would help them monitor and respond to floods, droughts, fires, and other emergencies. The military leaders of these three countries have hailed the remote sensing satellite project as crucial for their security strategy, just days after Islamist militants attacked an airport in Bamako. By working with Russia on such a high-tech project, the Sahel leaders stand to earn some independence from Western nations, which have long controlled satellite technology in Africa. This initiative also shows a shift in foreign relationship diversification, ownership over critical infrastructure establishment, and less dependence on Western powers. However, these Western powers are not willing to let go. They still send spies to distort the already fragile state of these nations. A French soldier who had been sent to Burkina Faso to protect the country turned out to be spying on the country after receiving suspicious information. Damien, a former French legionnaire who is now a security consultant, was held by Burkina Faso's national police on August 12 in Ouagadougou on suspicion of spying. This arrest served as a depressing reminder of the West's ongoing intervention in Africa, decades after colonial rule ceased. Damien's detention and the uncovered sensitive information regarding Burkina Faso's security situation revealed a larger story of Western manipulation concealed behind the pretense of economic collaboration and security support. We all know what the French had to say about this. They washed their hands clean from the case. What do the French desperately want from the alliance of Sahel states? Bear in mind that prosecutors in junta-led Mali, Burkina Faso, and Niger recently launched investigations against French journalist and researcher Wassem Nasser, accusing him of being an apologist for terrorism over his analysis of jihadist attacks. Nasser provided a well-informed analysis of a rare and deadly terrorist incident that occurred on September 17 in Bamako, the capital of Mali. The prosecution claimed he had communication with the attackers and that they had given him real-time updates on their whereabouts, goals, and death toll. His analysis proved that someone, somewhere was feeding him with information. The deputy prosecutor of Niger claimed that Nasser had also made remarks that amounted to blatant acts of publicity and support of the terrorists. Nasser has said that these persecutors are trying to intimidate anyone still contradicting their storytelling about security and control. He also said the investigation by the three West African countries is a clear attack on journalism. But is this the case? The long-standing influence of France in the region is under threat from the emergence of new leaders, especially military leaders who publicly oppose French policies and presence. Prominent figures such as Abderrahmane Tiani of Niger, Assimi Goïta of Mali, and Ibrahim Traore of Burkina Faso are advocating for a more autonomous and anti-colonial agenda that reduces reliance on France. France is using all that it's got left to discredit these leaders to maintain some control over the region. However, these three leaders have emerged as prominent leaders in West Africa who have chosen to stand up to France, their former colonial ruler, as part of a broader movement to reclaim sovereignty and reduce Western influence in their countries. These leaders share a vision of Pan-Africanism, which promotes solidarity and cooperation among African nations to resist foreign domination and exploitation. They have sought alliances with neighboring countries and called for the creation of stronger regional blocs that will stand together against external pressures, particularly from Western powers. Will the rise of these leaders and their Pan-African ideals inspire similar movements across other African nations to reject neo-colonialism and assert greater sovereignty? Let us know what you think in the comments below. Do not forget to like this video and subscribe to the New Tourist channel. Turn on notifications too so you get notified whenever we upload videos like this. Thanks for watching and see you in our next video.